You are healing codependence. Fantastic. Congratulations. You are doing the work. Maybe you've done a lot of work already. Wherever you're at in that journey, if you struggled with being codependent for any period of your life, congratulations for stepping away from it. Keep walking that path. My name is Chelsea. I'm an intuitive healer, and I specialize in helping people recognize and clear patterns of fear and patterns caused by trauma and turn them into peace and empowerment. So let's get started. Today's episode is what happens when the codependent finally finds that healthy relationship. And a quick heads up, guys, I don't know if you've ever had one of those days where you need coffee at 4 in the afternoon, but believe me, it's been one for me. So let's get started. The first thing that we think when we realize that we're codependent is, oh shit. So I've been taking care of people all the while thinking that this is going to somehow come back to me on the back end, right? Codependence isn't true love. Just a little quick background. Maybe I'll do a video on what codependence is from a spiritual perspective. But the main breakdown is codependence is giving and giving and giving and giving beyond our boundaries with the subconscious or unconscious expectation that at some point we'll receive it on the back end. So it's actually love with a motive, which isn't true love. I hate to break it to us. I say I hate to break it to us because I'm still one of those people that needs to be told that from time to time. It's a constant check-in for me. But when we've healed to a certain point, our codependence, we find ourselves getting into healthier and healthier relationships, which, yay, that's what we need to do. We start noticing that maybe we were attracting narcissists at first because, God, we could just give and give and give and give and give until we were exhausted, couldn't we? And they would just take and take and take and take, and then it would drain us. So if that was you, my heart goes out to you because been there, done that, and I really hope that if you are in that right now, that you have the courage to step away. If you need a permission slip to step away, consider this video a sign. Back to my point. I digress. It could be the coffee. But when we finally start healing that little bit of us that kind of gets off on giving more than we're able to and then getting pissed off that people aren't giving as much to us, once we start healing that, then we can start attracting healthy relationships. Now, that presents its own set of challenges, right? Because I was perfectly happy being single, and I was like, yeah, I'm healing, I'm good, I am the top of the world. And then I got into a relationship, which is very healthy, so loving, and so nourishing. But it took me a second to get on board, and here's why. Relationships reflect to us all the little tiny loopholes that we still need to go through and that we can't heal on our own. We learn how to be people through other people. So when somebody who has struggled with codependence gets into a beautiful, healthy relationship, at first it's wonderful, right? That first couple of weeks is always like, oh my God, this is it. Okay, good. And then 4 things happen. Number 1, suspicion sneaks in. There's that feeling of, wow, they've been really attentive to my emotional needs. I've been there before. Oh my God, is this love bombing? And we start wondering, okay, wait a minute, is this person pretending to be sensitive to my needs? Because I've been there before. Love bombing is a fantastic part of any toxic relationship. It's the best part, really, because this person who's toxic is pretending to be healthy and pretending to be there for us and pretending to give us all of this affirmation that we need, and then they take it away. So there's suspicion there. There's okay, what's your angle, dude? What's your angle, chick? Why are you being so nice to me, basically? And that one, honestly, can go for quite a while. Even when that initial suspicion wears off and you go, okay, maybe this is who they are. I gotta tell you, I was in it for probably a good 8 months to a year waiting for the other shoe to drop. Maybe closer to 8 months, but I was definitely on pins and needles for quite some time thinking, okay, 6 months in, I know he's gonna flip the switch. When's he gonna flip the switch? And that, as you can imagine, can be dangerous, because even though you've healed so much and you've done so much inner work, if you can't be open to love, you're going to push it away a bit. So if you're in that suspicion phase, be aware, always be cautious. If you really start getting some alarm bells, like if they're all of a sudden starting to pull away from you a little bit as a sort of game, keep your eyes peeled. But if you're feeling like you're in a healthy relationship and you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, really work on trusting. And that one's going to be an exercise. Like I said, that one can take some time, and that's understandable because it took you time to get here, didn't it? So now it's going to take time to start trusting, but that is a very natural phase of a healthy relationship when a codependent finds one. Next step, once you've kind of passed the suspicion phase, or if you're sort of in that longer suspicion phase of just general sort of, when is this going to go down? The next one, reciprocation. Because we're givers, right? We are so used to saying, here, let me take care of you. Well, what can I do for you? What are your needs? Here, let me just match those. And there's that tendency to sink back into self-abandonment again. Don't do it. Do not do it. But we can also say, start buying them lots of gifts. We can start trying to compensate our love, or our loved ones, for the love that they've shown us by doing more things. Here, okay, well, it's kind of like being Orphan Annie. And if you've been living off of scraps of affection, if you've been living off of scraps of attention, scraps of care, and then all of a sudden you're served a feast, it's hard to know what to do with that. It's really hard. It's like being Orphan Annie, and all of a sudden the next day you're invited to Thanksgiving dinner at Daddy Warbucks' house. How are you going to handle that? It's jarring at first. So there's this need to reciprocate. Again, it's almost like, here, I've been served this feast, and I need to thank you. Here, take my blanket, take my teddy bear. I have half a cheese sandwich. You want that? Like, I just. So that's normal. If you're feeling that way, that's pretty common. And be careful in this phase, because again, this is where, if we're not mindful of it, we codependents, we can kind of screw things up a little bit. And here's the explanation for that. This person is with you. This person is showing you love. This person very probably loves you, or at least has a very genuine care for you at the moment, depending on where you're at in your relationship. Do not rob them. Pretty please, do not rob them of that gift of giving to you. Because you and I both know, it feels really good to give of ourselves, doesn't it? That is the best feeling in the world, is to take care of somebody that we love. That's why we're codependent. We get high off of that shit. That is kind of our drug of choice, is caring for others. So if you're constantly trying to reciprocate and constantly trying to even out the tally, why would you rob the one you love and the one who loves you of the joy of just giving to you? Let that sink in for a sec, because it's a biggie. And if you're trying too hard to constantly keep the score even, that could drive somebody who genuinely cares away from you. Not always, because anybody who has a very healthy sense of what a relationship is like will probably call you out on it. And they will probably let you know that they are giving from a place of genuine care. But again, depending on the stage, sometimes that can be a bit of a repellent if we take it too far and if we get too grabby with it. If we get too much to the point of, oh, you did something nice for me, let me do something nice for you. So that's number 2. Next one. If you have gotten past the reciprocity stage, then there's a brief to sort of short to medium phase of unworthiness. It's a feeling of inadequacy. You almost feel like the narcissist in the relationship. You think, okay, all right, okay, I know this person is giving to me. I know they're so kind. I know they're so caring. I feel so loved. I feel so cherished. Oh my God, I'm not doing anything I'm not doing anything. Like, all they're doing is giving to me, and I don't deserve this. Yeah. And it's a very, very awkward place to be. Again, coming from a place where you were the caretaker. You were the one who was giving so much emotional worth. And when that role is not necessarily reversed, keep in mind, this is still based off of equality here. This is still based off of you continuing to give as you normally would, with respect to your boundaries, with respect to your partner, with respect to yourself and your energy. But codependents usually never have trouble giving, do we? That isn't our problem. So even if you were to pull back a little bit, I guarantee you, you're still giving to this relationship. I promise. And again, if not, if you're in a healthy relationship, your partner will tell you. That's a big sign. But there is that feeling of inadequacy because for codependents, a lot of us hold that power. Like, okay, you know what? I might not be contributing I might not be contributing financially. I may not be contributing in this sense. I may not be this cool, hot person that they think I should be. But by God, I am taking care of them emotionally. Well, when you get with a healthy person, that need for emotional babysitting greatly, greatly diminishes. So it can feel like we're doing nothing. It can feel like we're doing nothing to deserve all this kindness and care. It can even, again, feel like we are being narcissistic, which is just not true. It's a polarity. If you are codependent, let me put it to you this way. If you ask yourself if you're narcissistic, you're not a narcissist. Narcissists that doesn't even occur to them. So that's the simple test for narcissism there. Bonus. So, how to get through this stage? I don't know. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You have done so much work. You have put so much care into your life. And I wish there was a magic pill that I could give you that could just reframe this, but this one is something where you just kind of have to suck it up and know that you are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are always worthy of more love, not less. To quote Matt Kahn, who is one of my favorite spiritual teachers, you are worthy of more love, not less. And that is the best advice that I can give you, is each time that you feel like you haven't given enough to this person, and you can, again, if this is a healthy relationship, you can voice this too. Have a talk with your partner. Say, look, I just want to make sure I am taking care of you as well as you're taking care of me. How can I show you love? How would you like for me to show you love? That's a great question to ask any partner in any relationship. How can I show you love? Because the 5 love languages, right? We all receive love in different ways. But if you just outright ask your partner, that in itself is a loving action. That in itself is showing how much you care for your partner. And they'll tell you. If this person is healthy, they will tell you right out, well, I really love it when you give me back rubs. I really love it every time you tell me how awesome I am. They'll tell you. So if you're in the inadequacy stage, if you're in the I'm not giving enough, it's an I'm not giving enough stage, please don't worry. I promise you are. By the very nature of who you are, by the very fact that you're watching this video, you are probably most likely 99.999% giving the love that you are meaning to show. Last, the best part, acceptance and receiving. That is when you know that you've also really reached a breakthrough in your healing too. When you can accept and receive that love without losing gratitude. You can always be grateful. I tell my guy all the time, thank you, I'm just so grateful. And he'll say, it's no biggie, it's honestly nothing. I say, yeah, that doesn't mean I can't be grateful though. So be grateful, continue to be grateful. That's a beautiful state to be in. But accept, my love. Accept and receive. And that's something that might take some practice. And my mom had a great quote whenever I was being stubborn, because this goes all the way back to childhood for me. My mom, whenever somebody would fuss about the bill, you know how sometimes you fake fight over the bill at the restaurant, or if somebody wants to buy a gift, you feel the need to go, no, let me, and you do that weird little half My mom would always just look that person dead in the eye and say thank you and take it. Say thank you. That's all you have to do to receive. Accept it and say thank you. And if you feel a little weird saying thank you for every teeny little, gesture that just makes you go, oh, they care so much about me, maybe say thank you in your heart. You don't have to say thank you every time that, they say something nice. It's always grateful. It's always great, and it's always great to show people you appreciate them. But if you're feeling a little weird and freaky about it, because that's another thing, it can feel overwhelming at first. Every single little thing can feel just so, but say thank you and accept it. And there you have it. That's the journey. And it's an ongoing journey, and you might slip back. You might have a certain experience pop up that you go, oh my God, but things will trigger. It's called life. Face those triggers head on. But that's the general format of how a new relationship goes when a codependent finds themselves in a beautiful, healthy relationship, which is what I wish for all of you. So, with love, peace, and caffeine, have a wonderful day.